Hi, this is my attempt at having a teaching session on Stevie Ray Vaughan's acoustic blues that's freely available on the internet, and this is my version of it. My guitar is tuned down two semitones, so I'm playing D, G, C, F, A and D. But when I refer to the strings in this tutorial, I'm talking about the E, B, G, D, A and B string, and I'll give you the fret. Okay, so this is what I'm going to teach today. This is the first part of, if you've seen me doing it in full, there's about 9 parts, and it's 3 parts done 3 times. So this is the first part. So, the very first part of this is, and you'll remember with when you try to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan, he's muting the strings. Quite often he rakes down the strings and only leaving one string open. You get that raking sound on the rest. That's a very loose style, and at the beginning, this is the sort of thing he does. Get that, it adds to the rhythm. So the notes I'm playing in this first bit are the A string open, 3rd fret, 4th fret, D string, 2nd fret, 4th fret, and sliding up to the 5th fret. It's this sort of feel. So you're hammering on the A string from the 3rd to the 4th fret. But like I said, the way that Stevie Ray Vaughan plays it is a very loose, choppy style. You can leave the, you can keep the A string as well, play that in open, or you can just play the actual notes. So I'm playing all the strings, just fretting one note. The last part of this is, I'll just play it first. So the first one of those is a pull off on the D string, pulling off from the 2nd fret to open, and then fretting the and then playing the 3rd fret of the E string and playing the open E string. Okay, so this next part is pretty crucial. There's a lot of this going on throughout the whole of this, really. And it's kind of like a slide and a rake. Slide followed by a rake. What I mean is this. It's crucial to get that as fluid as you can, so it doesn't sound like 2 different bits. And you want really to play everything to ring out. You don't have to always play every note, and I'll show you what I mean. You can play it like this. You can play it like this. We can play it like this. Just muting the middle string. It's up to you, whatever appeals to you. But try to get it in one fluid movement, and then at the end I'll show you how to do that. For the purpose of this part of the tutorial, he's only playing it twice. So how you do it is, on the G string, you slide up from the 2nd to the 4th fret. You then rake down across the 1st, 2nd and 3rd string with your finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, either playing it, deadening it, or leaving it open. So have a go at that, this is crucial really. The end of this part, you're just going back down to the root note then by on the G string playing the 2nd fret, pulling off, and then playing the D string on the 2nd fret as well. In between that, you're also sliding back down here. You could even make those notes ring out as well. If you can get that, that's even better. It's worth spending a lot of time on that because it sounds great if you do it right. He then goes into another bit that he does quite a lot, and this is something that I've spent a bit of time on. So from first of all, he hits the bottom string open, those are the notes in essence. You're playing the top string open, B string 3rd fret, pulling off, G string 2nd fret, then playing the G string open but with a little blues embellishment there on the 3rd note of the E chord. It's major 3rd, I think it's called. Don't do that too many times, just enough times to give you, don't give yourself too much time on that because you won't get onto the next bit quick. So you may only do it to start with like this, but try to get a bit of a hammer on there. If you can, pull off as well. Crucial to get that. Okay, so for this bit, I'll play it through first, and and then I'll explain it. So this bit is bottom string open, fret it on the 3rd string, and then just a bit of a hammer on there, and then play the 5th fret on the E string. Then you go up to the A string, and you just want to slide up into this chord, which I think is an A7. That is an A7. And here's the chord. But it's having some open strings. So this bit goes. Okay, I can't remember how many times that is, but you'll get it yourself. So this chord that you're playing is on the A string, 4th fret, D string, 5th fret, G string, open, B string, 5th fret, and E string, open. So the end bit is. So you're going down, playing the top E on the 7th fret, right down to the 5th fret, from the 6th to the 5th fret. Then you're swapping your fingers over. You bring in your index finger down to the top E on the 3rd fret. I'm not going to go into great explanation on this bit, but the notes you're playing are top string open, B string 3rd fret, give it a little bit of a bend if you want to go back to the top E open, and the last bit you're familiar with on the G string 2nd fret, and that little trill then on the 1st fret. And then just to end it off, this sort of rake thing again. Then he hits the open E string and he goes up to this chord here. So if you're familiar with any Freddie King type instrumentals, this is a chord that he plays a lot. So just to let you know where my fingers are, on the top E, 12th fret, B string, 9th fret, G string, 11th fret, and D string, 12th fret. Now this is quite hard to get into this bit, so I'll play it and maybe try and explain it a bit better once I'm into it. You can hear that on a downstroke I'm deadening. I play a bit faster. So the next bit, if you're like me and you find these things a bit of a challenge, one thing I always do to try and increase fluidity and to try to fill up any gaps to make it sound much more continuous, I quite often just play these top 2 strings open. And I'll tell you why. It just gives me time to get into the next piece. And the next piece, so it's... all this is a B7 chord in the farmer's corner. Top E on the 2nd fret, B string open, G string 2nd fret, D string 1st fret, and A string 2nd fret. You just keep your fingers down here, you don't move these at all, and it's just a bit of a rhythm thing going up here. So it's something like this. So I'm playing the A string, the G string, the E string, the A string again. Then the top E, then the G string. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With a little bit of a rest in between. After that, that first G string. Top it off, you want to play the D string with a hammer on, using the same chord down here. D string hammering playing the fretted E string. You can see my hands haven't moved down off this B7 shape. This next part is the sort of thing that you might hear on a Freddie King song like The Stumble or Hideaway. Playing this chord again, played before. So it's going down through the strings, 12, 9, 11, 12. So how do we play that? So the first thing is to play this chord once, downward, and then you're playing, so from the 9th fret, you're playing the 9th fret and the 7th fret first of all. And what you're doing is you're playing, and you can hear the B string is deadened, so try to flatten your fingers a bit. So the notes you're playing are the top E on the 9th fret and the G string on the 9th fret. And then you go down to the 7th fret for both of those. So it's same thing again, but the E and the G string, you're playing the 4th fret and then you're playing the 2nd fret. So practice that. And then you'll finish off with, so you can slide up and pull off. So play the 2nd fret, slide up to the 3rd fret, and then pull off from the 2nd to the open. Playing the root note, the D on the 2nd fret, and then you're playing this this major 3rd of the chord. So this is a little turnaround to end off that I kind of like begged, borrowed and used from other bits. So it's kind of like my version of what you could do. So the first thing is to play the G string open. Actually what I'll do is I'll play it first from the last bit. And here it comes. So this is just the G string, hammer on, B string open, E string open, B string 3rd fret, pull off. Then you want to play the G string on the 2nd fret, and then you want to do this little slidey reiki thing that Steve Rayborn does, that I've played before. So yeah, it's just to go through it again. G string sliding up from the 2nd to the 4th fret, raking down across the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and then doing a pull off on the G string to the root note on the D string on the 2nd fret. So, and finishing off with that would end that bit completely. So it's bottom E open, 3rd fret, A string open, 2nd, 3rd. Play that A string again on the 2nd fret. So then it's the D string open, 1st and 2nd fret, and you can end, if you want to end the piece on an E. Right, so as you can see, it's not daytime anymore. I've now got a fluorescent light, so don't be concerned with continuity. Sorry about that. It's the first time I've ever done a tutorial. So just to really reiterate that this is part 1 of 3 parts, and I play this part 1 3 times. So it's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 1, part 2, part 3. Each time I play it, I vary it very slightly. So this is one of the variations I do, and it's right at the beginning. So cast your mind back to when we played. So the second time I may do something like this. So that's all it is. That's anything that's different. So this chord is part of an A7 chord. And it doesn't matter if you play the open A string as well. It all adds to it. So the chord is B string 5th fret, G string 6th fret, D string 5th fret. So we're playing the same thing as before. Sliding up to it is very nice as well. And like I say, you can play the A string open, however you want to do it. The second part is the same as before. You can also vary it again for the third time that you play the first part, and that's a little bit different, and that is something like that. However you want to do it. Try that again. So this bit coming up here is just like we played at the end of part 1 when we went. It's that bit of that, and it's just E string, top E string on the 9th fret, B string deadened, and the G string on the 9th fret. But you know, it's however you want to add a bit of feel to it. Just slide up as well. It's all about personalising it and adding your own touch to it. And the second bit is the same as I said before. So that's really all I wanted to say. So now we're ready for part 2. Please give me any comments, pointers. It's the first time I've done this, so hopefully you can follow it. If there's anything that you can't follow, please give me some comments, some feedback before I record part 2 and part 3. Thank you for your patience.